The man was terrified to find his companion firmly clenched in the jaws of a wild wolf. He frantically grabbed his gun and rushed out the door. However, instead of expressing gratitude for his narrow escape, the companion demanded that the man put down his weapon. What happened next left him in utter disbelief. To his astonishment, his companion deliberately offered his arm to the wolf's mouth, signaling it to take a bite while the opportunity was hot. Yet, rather than showing fear, the companion calmly taunted the beast. Witnessing this scene, the man finally felt his heart settle, but no one knew what had transpired between the wolf and his companion. The lone wolf pup's struggle. Initially, it was just a small wolf separated from its pack, barely surviving on the meager scraps its mother desperately brought back each day. It thought if it could just make it through this winter, everything would be alright. However, one fateful day, tragedy struck when its mother was attacked by a hunter while foraging for food. Gritting her teeth, the mother wolf crawled painstakingly through the snow, mustering every ounce of strength to finally reach the den's entrance. Hearing the commotion, the young pup, assuming its mother had returned with food, eagerly rushed out to greet her. Instead, it found its mother collapsed on the ground, barely clinging to life. With her last breath, the mother wolf gazed upon her beloved child before succumbing to her injuries, her eyes slowly closing forever. At that moment, the young pup didn't understand the gravity of the situation, believing its mother was simply exhausted and had fallen asleep. As the mother's body grew colder, the pup became increasingly agitated. It nestled against her, desperately trying to warm her with its own body heat. Soon, heavy snow began to fall from the sky, leaving the pup shivering uncontrollably. It could only pray for its mother to wake up soon. As the snow blanketed them, the pup, jolted awake by the freezing cold, finally realized its mother was gone and would never return. Staring at the lifeless body, the young wolf understood it was now an orphan, its mournful howls the only expression of its profound grief. Without its mother's care, the pup had no idea how to survive in this world. 3 days quickly passed, and the famished young wolf knew if it continued like this, it would soon starve to death. It had to muster the courage to venture out and find food. But having lost its mother, the pup had no notion of how to fend for itself. Even walking proved to be a daunting task. Parched and hungry, it could only nibble on leaves to temporarily quell its hunger, but this was not a sustainable solution. Wandering aimlessly, the pup eventually arrived at a lake, hoping to quench its thirst. However, its legs were too short to reach the water. It was at this moment that Becker noticed this adorable little creature.